want to.
I mean, we can. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so we're using new microphones for the podcast. So,
We've used these once.
Maybe
twice.
We used them one time, yeah, when we were over in Epcot.
Yeah.
So these are the new DJI mics. Kind of new for me.
They're new for us.
But yeah, I did a little thing that I almost never do in our videos, which is kind of talk a little bit about the tech stuff that we use. And that'll be coming out on Friday for our first video from the group cruise.
Yeah, so I guess Josh is going to be skipping over some content.
Well, I'm skipping over.
He's gonna come back to it.
Yeah.
But something that I've noticed before we get into everything here, I noticed that we do a lot in our podcasts anyway. We're talking to each other, but we're always looking at our cameras. So that is why
I'm trying to look at the viewers.
I know that. But it's a podcast format, so it's a little bit different. So that is why I have turned to face you today instead of the camera. And I forgot to tell you that before I sat down.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with us not being home for well over a month and this place still being a little bit of a disaster as far as anything cleaned up.
No, but like I've done it sitting on the couch before, but I've been facing this direction.
Oh, right, sure.
So today I'm facing this direction.
Right.
But yeah, it's also like a mess around here, so I had no choice but to sit on the couch. I got some more organization stuff to like help put some things away, and my desk needs cleaned up. It's not looking as bad as Josh's, but it's a little rough right now.
Yeah, so anyways, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we got
a recap.
Yeah, we haven't really been around.
We got a lot of stuff to
We haven't been around for the last, month and a half as far as like we've been traveling a lot and doing things. I haven't posted any videos, obviously. Taylor informed me that. She's like, it's been 4 weeks since you uploaded a video. Like, yes, I know. We've been busy. We've been doing a lot of things.
I also forgot to schedule shorts after we got back from Europe. So.
Yeah, so a lot's been going on. I think the biggest thing right now is how many of you out there are watching the Olympics.
It's on the TV in the background right now.
Yeah, the Olympics are going on currently. I'm sure many of you, saw what is becoming the big issue. Not an issue, but that's what people are making it is like the Last Supper type of thing in the opening ceremonies.
Your TikTok's very different than mine. I'm getting Love Island in the Olympic Village TikTok, so
yeah,
I think I'm on the good side.
But it's just crazy. I would love to be there. We actually, there's an agent who works for Goldgell Getaways.
Yeah,
she's
there.
Actually there right now. We haven't heard from her, but hopefully things are going
I've been watching her stories of
Okay,
it.
perfect.
They have like tickets to a bunch of different events. They've been planning this for like the last 2 years to make sure that they could like stay in the city and get tickets to the events that they want to see. So it's Carrie actually, Josh and Carrie, they did an episode on the Goldgell Getaways podcast. Haven't had a lot of episodes of that recently, but they did do an episode talking about the Olympics in Paris, which is like, it was really interesting. I listened to it myself. I don't know if I'll always have time to catch up on everything, but I love the Olympics. It's hilarious because my TikTok feed right now is nothing but House of the Dragon, food, and the Olympics. And all of the Olympics stuff is like people sitting on their couch and it's like, I would never wear a red, white, and blue shirt. And then it shows the Olympics on in the background and pans back to them and they're like wrapped in an American flag blanket and they've got American flag hat on.
Yeah.
Nothing turns you more patriotic than the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's the opening games the opening ceremony just happened earlier this week, and sure enough, I'm sure
2 days ago I sat here and cried.
Yeah, I'm sure there were a lot of people who were affected by the Microsoft badonky.
Whoa, we just really switched gears there.
Well, no, I mean, a little bit. But, we've been gone and we haven't talked about a lot of things. And I think that, this is definitely something that a lot of people around the world had an issue with because this was something that affected everybody, which was the Microsoft outage. We were very, very fortunate. Everybody in our party basically missed that by, I think, maybe 3 days.
Yeah, I think it was 2 days at the most.
After we all had left London.
We're all home.
Everybody was home, and then 2 days later, the whole system crashed. So it was really great really fortunate that we made it back in time, but really unfortunate for a lot of people out there. And I think, I don't know what Taylor would do. I know what I would do, but if that happened to you, what would you do in that situation?
What? Outage?
Whole system crash. What are you going to do? You're at the airport. You're stuck. System outage.
I would just stay there.
Yeah, but you can't just that's your plan. You're just going to stay there?
I'm not going to stay at the airport. Whatever city I'm in, I'm just going to go get like a hotel or something. I'm just going to stay there for a couple days. What would you do? I'd get a rental car and drive home.
Well, if I'm in London, I can't drive across the Atlantic. But, well, I think for a lot of people, what I would say is on the first day, everybody was affected, right? Every major airline was affected. But the second day, it seemed like there were people who were starting to get flights for other airlines. So, if you do need to get back as soon as possible, number one, we can never stress this enough, which is having travel insurance. And number two,
if you don't have travel insurance and you want more information about that, Goldgell Getaways, even on a trip that you did not book with them, if this is a trip you booked a long time ago and you want travel insurance on a trip, whether it's for flights or just for your trip or for all of it, Goldgell Getaways can get you travel protection, and it does not cost you anything extra to use Goldgell Getaways to make sure you get good travel insurance. Yeah. So we have a couple different vendors that we work with, and we have personally used it.
Yeah. So with that being said, it's really important. But the second thing I would say is that if you are in need of getting home as quickly as possible, your next best bet is just to try and go to another airline that has openings. It's probably going to cost you a lot. But, I mean, that's the thing of having travel insurance, because then at least you're going to get your money back from your original flights. Even if it's Delta or United or somebody and they're giving you the runaround, you can file a claim and still get that money back. So I just thought it was interesting.
We have had to do.
Yeah, we have. So with that being said, though, if you're interested in planning your next big destination vacation, you can head on over to goldgellgetaways.com and start planning probably tomorrow. Usually if you I always hate to say you can start planning today, but somebody might not get back to you till tomorrow. Give them a little bit of time. Get things figured out. And if you want to join us on one of our upcoming group cruises, we're going to Hawaii.
That's the next big one.
That's the next big one. We've got a couple of, they're all really, they're all group events. If you want to come along.
We've got some Caribbean, Bohemian type sailings that we have not officially announced yet.
Right.
But we did secure some room blocks because there have been a lot of requests for more tropical type sailings. Yes, we're going to be going to Hawaii, but for some people, Hawaii is just still not attainable. Right. And it's also not till the end of 2025, and people want to go on a trip at the end of this year or the beginning of 2025. So we've got some stuff coming up. We'll officially announce it at some point in time. So stay tuned for those. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so if you're interested in booking those, you can email me for any of the group stuff, or you can email Taylor. Taylor at goldgellgetaways.com. We do usually have a form that you can fill out. I don't think we have one yet for the kind of newer Caribbean stuff that we're putting together. But once we get that, if you're interested in joining, definitely do it. I think that it's really great. What I love about doing the group events, obviously I love going and seeing new destinations. We love being on new and different ships. But first and foremost, what's really great is just having the community in which, dare I say we built, but we really did bring some people together who may have never met each other.
We would have never met any of them.
Right, exactly. And now we are a really great group of friends. We chat all the time. So it's really nice. And it's a great...
I chat with our friends that go on our group trips and live way far away from us, literally on the other side of the country. I talk with them probably more than I talk to people that live near us.
Yeah, well,
which is really crazy.
You have a little bit more in common, so.
Yeah, travel friends are the greatest friends, honestly.
So, with that being said, though, I think it's also a really great opportunity. If you're new to cruising, this is a perfect way to do it. We're going to be doing some shorter sailings, like Taylor mentioned, warmer areas, right, the Caribbean. So it should be really good. It's a great way for you to get your feet wet and try something new. And dare I say, if you haven't done cruising before you go and try it, I think you're really going to like it. And it's going to be your new go-to vacation. So,
yep.
So we've got Olympics going on the TV. which is really great. Taylor's kind of watching it and trying to do the podcast. I can't help myself. Time.
Well, there's nothing that I'm like super into on right now, so I'd keep just like glancing up to see what's going on. However, I see some U.S. basketball clips being played on there, which is pretty interesting. But there was a little bit of gymnastics stuff on this morning. I like gymnastics. I like swimming. I think the basketball is actually pretty cool just because of the people that are on the team this year. They're like some like famous NBA players here in the U.S. Oh, Josh is stealing my phone because he doesn't know where his is at.
Yeah, I just got to look something up real quick. I got to go back on the channel here just to see what we talked about last. Because I'm not somebody who like goes back and like always is like looking at their channel and things that they have.
I asked him yesterday, so what are we going to talk on this podcast tomorrow? Oh, we're just going to talk a little bit about everything. Now we have no idea what we're going to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, so I think we should just do kind of like a recap of where we've been. Because I'm not sure that we've really talked about all of that stuff all that much.
Basically, right? We've had a really busy summer.
We have had a really busy summer. We've been doing a lot. Essentially, every time we get home, we're usually going somewhere else.
We do laundry and repack.
Between like 2 and 5 days. So it's been busy, which is really fortunate for us. Where I'm not like complaining about that. It's great. But when people are like, you're traveling all the time. Like, yes, we are. But there's other things that we are also trying to do in between there
and
as well.
It's so funny because like on our group cruise that we were just on, everybody's like, oh, I hope you're having like a great vacation. And we're like, well, yeah, I mean, it's a vacation, if you will. But for us, it's never really a vacation. I feel like I have more downtime like when I come home because it feels like we are always working when we are away. And it was especially hard on this last trip, which I'll get into. But like when we're traveling, we are always making videos. And while that doesn't sound like it's a lot of work, like we do have to constantly be thinking like, okay, am I getting video of this? Am I getting video of that? Are we doing talking heads? Do I need to go back and make sure I get video of something else, like whether we're on a ship or like the hotel? And then getting all of that offloaded from the memory cards like that and the microphones, you don't understand how much time that takes. And Josh has to constantly be making sure that like nothing's going wrong with those offloadings. Josh doesn't really do any editing while we're away because we do try to enjoy the moment and not spend a lot of time sitting in our room. But then we're also planning for like what kind of videos are going to come out from this. Are we going to do podcast episode? Are we going to do a full overview? What individual videos are going to come out of this? And then plus when it's a group trip, not that we like have to entertain everybody because everybody's a full grown adult and can do everything, but we want to hang out with everybody. So we kind of have to like plan like, okay, when are we going to meet up with everybody? Do we have excursions that are going on? And then we're also emailing people constantly. Is somebody texting? Is that what you're looking at on your watch?
It's fine. No, I was just going to chime in. I mean, it is data management is probably like the enemy of, is like my greatest enemy. Because it just, when you're moving stuff from a hard drive to your computer or whatever, right? I'm constantly adding things and then deleting things, adding things and deleting things, adding things, deleting things. And eventually, I probably go through hard drives much faster than most people would ever go through a hard drive in their entire life because they're not using it as much as I have. We just came back from Iceland or from the Northern European cruise. In London, we get back, we go to do a wedding, and then all of a sudden my hard drive is failing. I can't get it to work. Some of my files are being corrupted. So it's like it is a constant thing. It really sucks because then I have to take time to move all of that stuff to a new drive, try to find like a better drive, something that's going to last. And there's never anything that's ever going to last as long as I'd like it to. But it sucks sometimes. I did. It literally took me, I think I have over a terabyte of data from the Northern European cruise, including before with Iceland and a few days after in London. And it took me a couple days because sometimes I have to go through and move each individual file. So it's super frustrating.
Yeah. Well, and then in addition to that, like I'm emailing clients for Goldgell Getaways. I have clients that final payments are due. Right. I have people that are emailing me, like past clients that want to rebook another trip. They want to add stuff to their vacation. And like when we're traveling, I can't take a break when we're gone because we're gone so frequently.
Right.
So I just have to put an away message on that's like, hey, I'm currently traveling, but I'm going to get back to you like within 24 to 48 hours, just because of the time difference. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get back immediately, depending on the time of day. And then we also have our photo and video business, and people are like, oh my gosh, it's just emailing. Like, it's a little bit more than emailing. And like, you have to make sure that like deadlines are met for people and that, you know, you're reaching out to them before it's, you know, time's up for something. With our photo and video business, we have clients that are potential new clients that are constantly emailing like, hey, I'm looking at booking a wedding. Hey, I'm looking at booking a photo session.
Well, yeah. And those you have to be quick about because they are responding to other vendors, right? So there's
and if you don't get back quick on those,
right,
they go and book with somebody else because they didn't hear from you.
Yeah.
So like we constantly, it looks like we're constantly on our phones. Like I know I've actually had people say like, oh my gosh, Taylor's always on her phone in the videos, like because I'm constantly working. Like yes, I do put my phone down for certain things because I do want to be in the moment, and it's not that I'm trying not to be in the moment, but like. And I see this about a lot of other, like, content creator things that are like, oh my gosh, like, you're just doing emails. You're just creating content. It's a lot more than that behind the scenes. And people just don't understand.
Another prime example.
Plus, we have multiple businesses. So I'm not just always doing stuff for Travel with Josh and Taylor.
Right.
I'm doing stuff for our other businesses on the side, too.
Another prime example of how different our TikTok feeds are of the videos that Taylor sees and the videos that I see.
Oh, buddy, I was... Okay.
Let's not go down that road. We don't need to go down that road right now because I know right where you're going to go. Which
yes, and I want to leave that for later because we need to go through everything that's happened this summer.
So
just briefly. I don't think we need to deep dive everything, but
so we may have talked about some of this stuff earlier because it has been a month. But I think the first thing that was going to come out, but I've now pushed back, was going to be our Utah trip, which was the national parks out in Utah. So which was great. I think we have talked about this a little bit in passing.
We did lots of hiking.
Which
is like not typically something I like to do.
Right.
However, I had a really good time. Josh did pick some challenging hikes.
I did,
The first day was a really challenging hike, but it was worth the hike.
Yeah, it was good. We did a couple of days in Vegas afterwards. I think the biggest thing that we probably haven't really talked about was our cruise on Symphony of the Seas.
No, we definitely haven't because we weren't even home for a full week.
Right.
We did a wedding. And then, like, the next day, we left to go to Europe.
Europe?
Yeah, we went to Iceland right after.
No. We went to the Symphony of the Seas.
That's what I'm saying. Symphony of the Seas. We haven't talked about it.
Right. Yes, yeah.
Because we got home. We were home for a couple days. Right. We did laundry. We did a wedding. And then we literally...
And then we left. Yeah.
Left.
Yeah. So, Symphony of the Seas, that was out of New Jersey. First time sailing out of New Jersey. And first time on Symphony of the Seas. Of course, we've been on plenty of the other Oasis-class ships.
Thinking of Symphony of the Seas, because we went to New York City for one day, I cannot stop reminiscing about the dumplings that I had in Chinatown. They were the best dumplings I ever had.
Yeah, so we have we'll have like a little video coming out from that as well.
A little day in New York City.
Yeah, we did a day in New York City. So there'll be that. Symphony of the Seas, though, beautiful ship.
That's our 4th Oasis class ship, I think.
Yeah, we'll deep dive into that a little bit later on, but
this fly is driving me crazy.
I know, it's like get out of here.
There's all this space, and it just keeps staying right here.
I'm about to have a Bryan Cranston moment from Breaking Bad. I'm gonna go after this fly. So, so Symphony of the Seas itinerary would not recommend. The ship was really great, though. I would definitely sail on Symphony again.
Yeah, we personally did not like the itinerary, and we'll deep dive into that later, but like the port days were kind of short, and we didn't get there. Like, perfect day at Coco Cay was like a normal hours day, but like the day in Port Canaveral and the day in Nassau, we didn't get there until like
2 o'clock or something, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like at least around lunchtime. And so it was really weird hours, and we
had like a half sea day and then a
And we didn't really
which sounds like, oh, I get half of an extra sea day and then a full day in port. Like, not really.
Well, because then you miss dinner on the ship,
right?
And if you get off the ship, but then also the pool was really crowded in the morning,
right?
Where normally in port days,
in the morning,
there's nobody at the pools. Yeah. So it just wasn't that normal experience we were looking for. Yeah. So I think it's good that we did get that experience because I know a lot of people up north like those cruises out of New Jersey.
I think they like it out of convenience.
It is 100% out of convenience. It's like a couple hour drive to get there. For us, it wasn't a great itinerary.
Yeah, and but we still had a good time. If you're wondering too, like, oh, why would you do that if you didn't think you were going to like the itinerary? It was just something that we kind of got wrangled into with Taylor's family.
Yeah, there was 21 of us.
They kind of invited us to come along and watch Jossie, Taylor's younger sister, so that Carrie and Darren could potentially have a decent time by themselves. More to come on that. But yeah, so Symphony of the Seas wrapped it up, round trip, New Jersey and back, home for just a couple days, did laundry, and then we were off to Iceland. So, which is, this was an amazing trip. I think we all were planning for some sunshine, and we never got it. Almost the entire trip.
It was so funny because like the week leading up to it, like we're all texting in the group message, like trying to figure out how to pack. Like that's always like our conversation before we leave for a trip is like, how do I pack for this trip?
Right.
And how do I keep my suitcase under 50 pounds? Because that is always everybody's issue. So I gave some packing tips and a few other people gave some packing tips. And it seemed like everybody was able to keep their weight under, except for our friend Todd. But that was no surprise there. Right. But basically, for packing tips, I have posted about this stuff on our Instagram story before. So stay tuned. I'll post some more about that whenever we go back into this trip. You're going to take an allergy pill after this. Already decided. We'll see if it helps. But packing cubes and outfit plan. If you outfit plan, you can save so much space in your luggage. Our friend Kate was like well over 50 pounds. And I said, if you need to get under 50 pounds and you don't already have packing cubes, go get packing cubes. And then outfit plan for every day what you're going to wear. Yeah. What are you going to wear during the day and what are you going to wear for dinner at night? Or are you going to wear the same thing all day? Like literally outfit plan. And then if you can do laundry, also plan to do laundry.
Right.
So that you can rewear some of those items. And she was able to get her suitcase down to like 42 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Because she outfit planned. And she's like, this is the best thing ever. She's like, I've never outfit planned because I feel like I can't outfit plan. She's like, but I forced myself to do it.
Right.
And got my weight down. And so that's actually what I did too. But then I felt like I didn't pack enough. So I was a little frustrated.
Well,
but I went and bought some sweatshirts because it was cold.
I think the other thing too is I don't really have that problem very often because
you don't outfit plan.
I actually did outfit plan for our short GoldCon because I only wanted to take my carry-on. Like,
yes,
I just wanted to
that's
take
what
my
I
carry-on.
did too.
So I outfit planned for that, but Taylor makes fun of me because which leads into what we're doing next. And that I always wear like the same things, right? If you guys haven't noticed, most of our videos, I've been wearing a jacket recently, so you might not notice. But
the black and white shirts are fine.
Yeah, but I almost always am wearing a white or black shirt.
I posted on the Instagram story a while ago because people are like, oh my gosh, Josh is always wearing the same thing. I did a load of white laundry, and there was a stack of just Josh's white shirts. And he's not wearing the same shirt. He's got a million of them.
The whole thing behind that is, number one, the first and foremost, like most important thing to me about that is that I can get away with wearing the same color shirt, and you don't really know if it's the same shirt or not, unless I'm Taylor and I spill something all over myself. But
that was rude.
But no, but like in all seriousness, like I can if I'm making one video from, let's say, multiple days, and I'm always wearing a black shirt, you don't necessarily know that it's from multiple days unless I tell you, right? Now, sometimes I will obviously be wearing different pants, but, I like it because then I can then also, which I didn't do this, well, actually, no, we did because we did laundry. I can get that stuff washed. So I can take less and make it work longer for me. By wearing the same stuff. Number two, which is not as important, but like I don't know why, but I've kind of gotten away from like a branding type of thing, right? So I think you guys probably always used to see me wearing like a Nike hat. I now wear like just a plain black hat. And when they start to get really dirty, I just throw them away and I order like 5 new black hats. Don't wear like anything that's like branded as far as t-shirts go. I will tell you that I buy them all from Target. They're cheap and they're great quality, so that's why I get them. But yeah, I mean, like for the most part, like I just don't want it to. I want it to just be less about that and just more about the content of what we're doing and things.
I've tried to do that, but then I end up buying stuff that's colored.
Yeah, and I mean, branded. Like I don't mind having those things. Like I still have some Disney button-ups, right? So the next thing that we're going to be doing is doing a Disney cruise again. Woohoo! 2 in 1 year
in September.
And Taylor's like, "What are you gonna? You just gonna wear a black and white shirt all the time? You're gonna go to dinner wearing a black shirt or a white shirt?"
We were at TJ Maxx yesterday, and I said he needed to look for stuff.
No, I mean, like during the day, yes, casual wear during the day. I will always wear either a black or white shirt. But when we go to dinner, I still do have some fun Disney button-ups and Disney polos that I'll take with me to wear while we're on the cruise for dinner, because we do kind of like to dress up usually.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, for dinner. Not that we're getting like super dressed up or anything, but
I think I need to make a Shein order.
Of course. So, but yeah, packing is very essential, and doing it the right way is essential for especially a longer cruise. I mean, our Northern European trip is what we should be calling it. Really was 14, like literally was 2 weeks. We left on the 30th of June.
Yeah, we didn't get home until the 16th. We got home on the 17th, technically. By the time we actually got home.
Right, technically.
Yeah.
But we left, there's only 30 days in June, right? So we left on the 30th.
We had a full day on July 1st, and we had a full day on the 15th. So it was like a 15 officially day, day trip.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, and it was great, even though we didn't get any sunshine really until we usually left the ports and we're sailing to the next one, which was by that time you're inside eating dinner or having some drinks at the bar or whatever. You know, you're not really getting outside to enjoy it. So,
well, and that was another thing with the packing is that we all checked the weather and it was like supposed to be hot at the end of the trip, like the last couple days. So we're all like, oh, okay, so we can pack some like outfits with like shorts or skirts or, t-shirts. No.
Never happened.
I ended up wearing a skirt to dinner on the ship because I was like, I can't wear my jeans again. Like, I got to wear something else.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was a lot of fun. It's definitely a cruise that I would absolutely do again. I was almost trying to think if we had first-time cruisers on there with us, but we didn't. I think everybody...
No, everybody had been on a cruise before.
We only had a few new people in the group, and everybody had already been on a cruise before.
Yep.
I think we did see in the Facebook group that there were some people who did it for the first time. I would love to, talk to them and see what made them decide to do a Northern European, a long cruise like that.
Yeah, as their first cruise. It was a 10-night Northern Europe cruise.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good,
I think we got lucky with the weather, as far as the water not being choppy.
Yeah, it was one of the smoothest sailings I think that we've had we haven't had any rough sailings.
There were 2 days where you could really feel it moving, but it was never to the point where I was sick. But you don't get sick at all.
Right, that's how I judge it. If I'm not getting sick, it's not rough. No, you're right, because the one morning I think I got up and they had put bags out.
Yes.
For people in the stairwells.
In the stairwells there were sickness bags.
But it really wasn't maybe 3-foot swales.
Yeah, but for some people that is enough to make them sick.
Yeah. But I think the one thing that we all thought that we were going to get was when we were leaving Iceland, making our way to Norway, going through the North Sea, and we thought, man, if there was ever going to be a time that we were going to get rough weather, it was going to be there, and we didn't. Nope. It was, I don't even know if it really rained that much while we were on that sea day. I think it may have been,
I don't know,
kind of partly cloudy, maybe partly sunny.
It rained a few days on the trip. But...
Right. Oh, yeah, I mean, it rained almost every day.
But I don't remember. And it was cold. Even our last couple days, even in London... it was cold, cold enough you had to wear, a sweatshirt every day.
Yeah,
Iceland was freezing cold.
No, Iceland wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was!
Iceland was, I think the only day that it was really, really cold in Iceland was our last day when we did that whale watching tour. and that's because we went out on the water.
I mean, I guess.
So that was chilly. But every other day, I think you could have gotten away with, a sweatshirt or, a medium weight jacket.
Oh, you know what? It was really cold the day we were in Isafjordur or whatever. Yeah. But then we hiked up that hill to that waterfall.
Yeah.
That waterfall. So then we weren't cold anymore because we were sweating from hiking up that hill.
The Dintafus Falls. Yeah, so it was great, though. We had a really good time. Lessons learned on a few things. Number one would be sometimes a tour that you book doesn't always go as planned. And I think next time, if I would ever do it again, I would have just gotten our own rental car. Yeah. And just did our own little South Coast tour in Iceland, then our own Golden Circle tour in Iceland.
However, our Golden Circle tour was excellent.
No, it was really good. But
we did a private tour, and I think that made a big difference.
Right. Yeah, and if we did the South Coast tour thing, that maybe again doing it as a private tour rather than doing it in a group.
It costs more, but so we did a Golden Circle tour, which we'll talk more about. The Golden Circle tour we booked through Viator.
Yeah.
It was a private tour, and we had a group of us. There was 10 of us, I think. So we all paid per person towards that. So it basically ended up costing what it would have cost to go on another tour. But it was just us, just people we knew.
Yeah.
Versus the South Coast tour, which was the same size bus. More people we didn't know. And then there was some stuff that had kind of got messed up. And so we got really delayed, which we still ended up having a good tour. But we did miss out on one thing that we really wanted to do. So
it happens.
Yeah.
So, that happened. There's something else that I was thinking of, and now I forget.
You said something about lessons we learned about the tours.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was talking about, but then there's something else. Now I forget. Anyways, moving on. So that was great. Highly recommend doing that. We came back. We were home for
barely a week.
4 or 5 days.
We had another wedding in there.
We had another wedding 3 days after we got home, and then
that night, literally after the wedding, we left.
Yeah, and then we were in Walt Disney World doing GoldCon, and we stayed at the Drury Hotel, or is it the Drury Inn?
It's the Drury Plaza.
The Drury Plaza. Mm-hmm. Fantastic hotel. Highly recommend staying there.
It's a good neighbor hotel of Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So you
can
still
do packages.
You can do vacation packages, and you can get early park admission.
Right. So it's a great hotel. I still think it's in a pretty decent location.
Walking distance to Disney Springs.
It's a little far for walking distance, but yes, it is.
You can still walk.
It's considered walking distance. And it was a great conference center. Really good setup. Food was awesome.
Oh my gosh, the food for our conference was really good. Pam picked out what we had for it, but it was good.
Yeah.
We had 2 lunch days there. But then also, if you stay at the Drury, you get, because I don't think you made a vlog from that. Are you going to talk about it briefly?
No, I'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you get drinks and snacks and breakfast included every single day, which was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And our room was really nice. It was, I would say that it was bigger than some of the rooms on Disney property at moderate resorts.
Right.
And it was less than what you would pay for a moderate resort.
Right.
And we had a balcony.
Yeah, and they had transportation, which was included, but it's not the same as Disney's included bus transportation. There are timelines, but again, you're so close. Take a bus in the morning.
You just have to plan accordingly.
Yeah, you take the bus over in the morning maybe, and then maybe Lyft or Uber back, or Lyft and Uber over.
It's not so spur of the moment that you can be when you stay at a Disney resort.
Yeah.
It's more of
not every 20
I
want
to be at Magic Kingdom by this time, so I need to make sure I take this bus.
Right, you have to plan ahead. And it only drops you off at TTC.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it was really great. And if you guys are wondering what the heck we're talking about, GoldCon is Goldgell Getaways convention. So that's what the travel agency has every year. Last year we did it on Allure of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. Mm-hmm. This year we had it at the Drury Plaza Hotel. Mm-hmm. And can I say that it's on what the next one is?
I don't know because I don't know if it's officially official.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just wait. But if you're interested in like becoming a travel agent, joining Goldgell Getaways, you can head on over to goldgellgetaways.com and fill out the application
form. I did
form.
post it on our story the other day.
Too. Okay, nice. Yeah. So always looking to bring on some new people. And whether you have experience or not, you can come on over and join us. It's a really great time. I think it's really great because we get agents from all over the place. It's just kind of like our group cruises,
It literally is. Like, we have also made friends within our travel agency.
Yeah.
Basically, the ones that we have become friends with are the ones that come to GoldCon.
Yeah.
Because we get to meet in person and actually talk.
Right.
So, like, there are a few agents that have come to every single GoldCons from the beginning, which is, like, really cool because it feels like we've gotten to know them over the years, because not only did we talk to them at GoldCon, now we feel like we have like a more personal relationship with them. So, if we have questions about something or they have questions about something, we're just more comfortable to talk to each other afterwards. Right. But yeah, it's really cool. Like, I mean, there's even agents that like live near us that we had no idea until we met them in person at GoldCon, and we're like, oh, that's really cool. So yeah, it's just, we meet up in the parks, or
it was good.
There have been agents that have actually come on our group trips with us before, and just in Northern Europe. So
yeah,
it's really fun. And like, being part of the agency, I think one of the biggest questions that people ask is like, is this a full-time job or like a salary job or whatever? So since we're talking about it, I figured I'd just mention it. There are agents that do. It's all what you make it. That's the biggest thing. It's all what you make it. There are agents that sell only vacations to their family because that's all they want to do. Right. Or that's all they have time to do because they have a full-time job in addition to this. There are other agents that make like part-time and full-time income off of it because they put in the work to make it that. You're marketing yourself. So most of the people that do really well are marketing themselves in their community and reaching out and going to events and vendor events. And, I just went to a Disney trivia, the other day that a travel agent from a different agency that I've never actually even heard of before. She hosted a Disney trivia, and that's like how people heard of her, was from hosting trivias. And I was like, that's like a really good idea.
Yeah.
So, just different ways to do it. And like I said, it's all what you make it. So if it's something you've ever thought about before, it's something you can always try out. But I feel like the best way is to not give up after the first year. I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've noticed is people do it for a year and are like, oh, I only booked one trip, I'm not doing this again. But the first year is always the hardest because that's when you're learning how to do everything.
Right. Yeah.
And we have some really good educators for the trainings, and a really good group of agents that help each other. Right. And, it's like anything. You can't give up. You got to put the work in.
And the other thing too is that like, that's it. It is. You have to really just go get it. That's the best way to put it. You have to. Unless you're coming into it knowing that like you've got several friends or random people who are absolutely going to book a trip with you right away.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while, but yeah, I mean,
it's honestly fun though. It's fun planning trips.
We have a great support system there for everybody, and so yeah, if you're interested, you want to come and join us for the next GoldCon. It's going to be next year, potentially in November, I think is all that I can really say at this point about it. We'd love to have you. You can come along, have some fun. So, we did GoldCon. We did another wedding over at the Grand Floridian.
We did do a wedding while we were down there. It kind of worked out timing wise perfect, like to be on property and like that was so funny.
We did have like one vendor that we were going to miss, but then they ended up canceling because of flight issues.
So that actually worked out perfect.
Thanks, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Apple would never do that to us. So, but yeah, no, in all seriousness though, it is fun. It's a great opportunity. And if you're interested, head on over to Goldgell Getaways and fill out an app. Next, let's talk about
or if you're planning a wedding,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Or
I kind of skipped right over that one. If you're planning a wedding, you can head on over to jtr.media. You can book a wedding with us. We do photo and video. So
we do husband and wife photo and video team.
That's right. Yeah.
We work real well together.
Yeah, you won't have photographer won't be standing in front of me for very specific shots that I need to get.
Yeah, that happened recently, and it was really unfortunate.
So, so moving on into what we've got coming up here in the next little while. Wow, speaking of, I don't think we have anything booked in October, do we? Like, no, like, actual
We
like,
have nothing
trips.
booked in October or November, or technically December yet.
Well, we're working on that.
I'm going to work on the itinerary when we finish this before we have a phone call with a client.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of fun things coming up. Sounds like we're going to be going to a local hometown amusement park that I have not been to since I was like 8, maybe. I don't even know how old I was.
Last time I was there was my senior year of high school. We went for our physics trip.
Wow, must be nice. Living the privileged life over here.
I took physics class. Your uncle was my physics teacher.
Yeah, state funded. Awesome. So, so I haven't been there in forever. We're planning to do, I think, like, the second to last weekend of August.
Yeah.
Right? So in a
because
couple,
then the next
weeks,
weekend we fly to Europe again.
Yeah, so in a couple weeks. So we're going to have a different type of theme park video. Yes. I don't know. I think I'm only going to be able to take my phone. And I'll probably just take it and put the road mics on.
I guess let's just find out if you can take a GoPro or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's no lockers for you to, like, put your stuff in.
Right. But I'll have my, like, little crossbody bag. That should be fun.
that.
So that'll be fun. Something exciting, very different. Haven't done that in a really, really long time. Yep. I can only pray that it'll go better than Kennywood when we try to do the Halloween thing there.
No, because we're going for the rides this time, so it'll be fun.
I should see if I have that video. I might have just gotten rid of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we have some of our friends that we've made over the years from going on group trips live in the area, and they keep saying, like, oh my gosh, when you're in Pennsylvania, like, you have to come here with us. Like, we live so close. Like, let's go together. Yeah. I'm just not saying it yet because we haven't officially purchased our tickets yet. Right. So I don't want to be like, oh, this is where we're going, and then we don't go.
Did you book the hotel?
I did just
okay.
No. I went to book it, and there was an error on the page, so I got to go back in and book it. I have it pulled up. So we have there's going to be 6 of us going together now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. So the other thing then after that is going to be we are jumping on the Disney Dream. So I'm super excited. We haven't done the Dream yet. I love the Fantasy. The Dream is the sistership of the Fantasy. So should be exact same layout, different restaurants, a little different theming throughout the ship. But I'm
pretty
excited. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I actually was looking at the menus, and I think they're very similar to the Fantasy.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Like, they're pretty much all the same across all the ships.
I know, but I wish they were different.
Well, I mean, that's Disney. When you only have 5 ships in your entire fleet, you don't really have to worry about it too much.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, on all of the Royal Caribbean ships, their menus are the same now.
Right.
Across the board.
You kind of would think, though, that they would be more specific maybe to the region that they were in. And maybe that's where the buffet comes in. You know, if you go to the buffet, maybe sometimes they'll mix it up as far as something that's a little bit more. That's what Norwegian was doing on the
I didn't
Prima.
Tell you, but I may or may not have booked a dinner at Palo.
That's really funny. That's really funny. So we just did check-in last night.
There was availability.
We just did check-in last night. When did you book that?
Did you book one last night?
When did you book Palo?
Like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. So that would explain why I haven't been able to book. I wanted to book brunch. Brunch was available.
Why didn't you book it? You should have canceled.
I'm not allowed to. I can't. It won't show me availability.
Oh my gosh, I wanted to do brunch.
It says that it's not sold out, so I don't know.
I don't think that's true because I booked the dinner because there was no brunch.
Okay, well, I don't know. I've been trying to get on and book something. I was like, oh, maybe I'll surprise Taylor. She won't know, or she will know when she finds out.
No, because it looks like there's availability until you go to
Taylor
book it, and then it's
Palo
gone.
For brunch. I haven't been able to book it anyways, but we had we did just have check-in last night, so
I would rather do the brunch than the dinner.
I would too, but maybe we'll just have to wait till we get on the ship, go ask, see if there's availability.
Maybe I'll just cancel the dinner because the dinner always makes me so stuffed.
I mean, I don't care. I would like to do one either way, so it doesn't matter to me. But I forgot where I was going with that, but we just did check in for the cruise, which is really nice. We have a guaranteed ocean view room, which is with a porthole. We haven't stayed in that category yet on Disney, so it'll be a first for us.
We haven't stayed in an ocean view room on any ship.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we haven't.
We've only done balcony or interior. No, we haven't.
Sailing Does that really away count? Again on Margaritaville. Is that how it goes?
Wasting away again?
Wasting away on Margaritaville. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyways, so that does count. It's a ship. And it was owned by a larger corporation. So it's part of it. So, yeah.
I forgot about that. We were never in the room, though.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we literally got up in the morning, got ready, and we were gone.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 nights. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
It does count.
Whatever.
100% counts. We slept in there for 2 nights.
I guess.
So, yeah. But that
wasn't by choice, though. They only have those rooms or interior.
Yeah. So to talk a little bit about why we picked this cruise, we'll talk a little bit more. We'll go into depth after the cruise is over. But being an agent, right? We were able to take advantage of a travel agent discounted rates, and so that's why we booked this. We've been wanting to do the Dream because we haven't done it yet. Yep. We've been wanting to do it on a European sailing.
We looked at the European sailings last year,
right?
And the timing just did not work out.
Never could make it work with our schedule. And then all of a sudden, there was nothing.
We were on the Symphony of the Seas, and it just... Josh...
Oh, no, actually, I think this has been available for a while.
No, because there was a different date, I think.
Because we were supposed to be doing a little beach trip with my family in September, and that got
Maybe
nixed.
That's why we weren't
That got nixed, yeah. And so then when I pulled the rates back up, and this was on there, I was like, oh, let's do it. So, so... Really great, super exciting. On the Dream in Europe. Have we done some of the ports before? Yes.
Well, we're gonna do different things.
I'm trying to convince Taylor to just knock it off the ship in Amsterdam, and just have it as like a fun day on the Dream.
But we're gonna have 2 sea days.
I know.
We'll see.
So
I do have an excursion booked through Disney.
Right.
But we can cancel it.
Yeah. So
because we've done Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And we've also done the windmills and stuff now. That's like the other thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just skip it and like in the afternoon or something get off and go get a stroopwafel real quick and come back.
Sure. Yeah. Because we should be pretty close. We should still be
I want to get a bag of like the mini stroopwafels this time. So I can have them for later.
Whatever.
Because I love the stroopwafels. They're so good.
Sure. Yeah. So we've got that. And then we don't really have anything coming up at the end or into October. I would love for us to be able to maybe see if we can find some TA rates for Universal or for Disney. Do a little Halloween time. That's my favorite time of the year to do Halloween
Horror Nights?
Yeah, but I was going to say Mickey's. I was like trying to say Mickey's Not So Scary at the same time. I don't know. But yeah, Halloween Horror Nights. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mickey's Not So Scary if it's not sold out or outrageously expensive. Oh. So we'll see.
Listen, this is the problem with us. One of us mentions about doing a trip like this.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. One of us mentions about doing a trip like this. And then like by the next day, the other one has like planned out a full trip and it's like, hey, so I was thinking you mentioned yesterday
I think like,
about us staying on property.
The other thing we were talking about doing is in September would be after we got back. So it'd have to be after this. We were talking about another thing back home in Pennsylvania is the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, was that a September date?
That was September. Yeah, it was. I think it was 2 weeks after.
I think I put it on the calendar just to make sure. But because they have different themed weekends,
right?
And so we're like, okay, well, if we're gonna like commit to going to this, like, I want to go to a weekend that I want to go to.
Yeah.
So like, we don't have much going on at all in August. So I was like, oh well, maybe we can go in August. But the first weekend's themed was like fairies, and I was like not really interested in that.
Yeah.
They do have a wizard themed weekend coming up in September, so that's the weekend I currently have penciled in.
Yeah, so we might be doing that as well, and then like I said, nothing in October or November really, and then we have to get this nailed down like ASAP. We're working on a really big trip in December.
If we can make this work like right,
yeah,
it's gonna be an epic trip.
Yeah, it's gonna
going to some like iconic locations.
Yeah, it'll be another trip back to Europe. We're getting to the point.
But to places we've never been before.
We're getting to the point now where I feel like we're going to have to start treating Europe like it's the Caribbean. And not going back.
There's so many places to see, though.
I know. But, we're very fortunate for that. But
I'd
yeah.
like to get to Africa or Asia at some point in time. They're so big.
We are working on that. We've been planning or working on some type of itinerary for this for a long time. A couple months now. Essentially, we were going to do a river cruise. We've backed out of doing that river cruise because we can't sell it as a travel agency. We talked about doing it as a road trip.
It was the company that we were looking at.
Right.
Yeah, we can sell river cruises.
Yes, that's a good thing to specify. We can absolutely help you book a river cruise if you're interested in booking a river cruise.
I have 3 couples currently looking at river cruises.
But the company specific doesn't work with travel agencies, so we don't make any commission from that. But anyways, so then we're talking about doing a road trip, and then when we were just in Amsterdam on the Prima. And the great thing about Amsterdam, which is also the thing that everybody hates that lives in Amsterdam, is that the cruise terminal for the ocean lines is literally in Amsterdam itself, in the city.
It's like a 15-minute walk from the port to like the main area of the city.
It's super short. It's like so close. And at the same time, all of the river cruises also dock right there by the ocean ship. And so like you see the river cruises, and if you've been on one, the feeling of like, oh my gosh, I just would love to be back on one. And so I saw another cruise brand out there, and I was
let's maybe look at that one.
Check out that one, but no, I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to do this as a
probably a road trip,
kind of as a road trip, through.
We talked about
Eastern
doing
Europe.
trains, but like trying to have enough luggage for that many days, we thought maybe doing trains would be a little bit more difficult.
Right.
So we're thinking about just doing it as a road trip because you can get a rental car. Right. We just have to make sure that we can pick it up in the one location and drop it off in the other location.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be a problem. So it's going to give us the opportunity just to really be able to customize, do whatever we want to do on this trip.
Oh, Taylor's already working on customizing. Don't you worry.
And have a lot of fun. So
I've added 2 stops that Josh did not have. 3. I've added 3 stops that Josh did not have on the itinerary originally.
I haven't really even made an itinerary. It's just been.
Oh, Taylor's already making the itinerary.
Well, I know.
Oh, you just wait. We're going to go over it when we're done with this podcast, actually.
But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're interested in doing something similar, Taylor can certainly help you do that, or we'll have another agent with us who also can help you put that same itinerary together as well.
We have agents that are well versed in literally.
Well, yes, but I was talking about somebody specific who will be on the trip with us.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, and then after that,
she can market that. She will.
Yeah, I know. But then after that trip is where we're going to be moving into some of those Caribbean sailings. And so it should be exciting. One other thing I am really, really excited for. I've never done this stuff before, but from GoldCon, talking with one of our other agents, she is looking to start putting some very, very niche trips together. And I cannot wait to talk about it here on our podcast and help her market these trips. I'm absolutely 100% going to be going.
We're going to go as one of her clients.
So, yeah. So, I'm not going to be doing any of the planning, which is really nice.
No,
I don't have to worry about the group. Somebody else will be worrying about that group. She'll be handling that. So I can just, if you're interested, when we start making the announcements of doing it, we'll put her stuff up on the screen, and you can, in the description as well, and you can send her that contact. But I'm super excited. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. I've just never had the time to set aside to do it. And so now, once the trip becomes set in stone, I'm going to have to put the time in to get some certs.
Going to have to make a road trip down to Key Largo.
Key Largo. That's also a Jimmy Buffett. That's part of a Jimmy Buffett song.
Is it?
Key Largo?
That's the Beach Boys.
That's the Beach Boys. Crap. Darn it. Anyways, Bum just filled out that form. Let me just check our times here. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. So we've been, wow, this was probably a really pointless podcast of us just kind of wrapping things up.
No, I don't think it was pointless. I think it was giving everybody like some insight into what has been going on, especially if there's people that don't really follow us on Instagram to know. Because if you don't already follow us on Instagram, be sure to do that because I post, I don't want to say super regularly stories of saying what's happening, but like if you follow our stories, you can kind of know like what's going on. Like if we're traveling or if we're home or whatever. That's where you keep getting up and it stresses me out.
I know, but I just got to check and make everything's, because it's
Instagram, not Instagram feed. Instagram feed, I'm still posting from Scotland. Instagram stories is like live content, if you will. YouTube is always delayed because people will comment and be like, oh my gosh, come and visit my town. And we're like, we were there 5 months ago. Like, what we're posting on YouTube is not live. The podcasts are going to be like the most close to live posting that you will get.
I guess so.
They are.
That would like, probably be,
They're the closest to real time.
Right.
Everything else is like delayed and put in a queue. Like
by weeks.
Yes.
Especially now.
YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, Instagram posts and reels, TikToks, like that's all delayed stuff. Instagram stories is where you are going to see like what we're actually doing in real time.
Yeah.
Just FYI. Because I feel like we get comments about that all the time. Like, I can't keep track of where you are. Okay, well, that's because what you're seeing is not actually what we're doing right now. So watch the Instagram stories and you will know what's happening in real time. Yeah. We are currently home.
Yep. We are currently home. It's going to be the longest time that we've had home for a while. So it's kind of nice.
For now.
For now. So we're always finding a way to fix that. But
I know.
But yeah, so next week, I think maybe we might be talking a little bit more in depth about Iceland because we're going to be officially breaking into the Iceland videos or the Iceland series. That first video is going to come out on Friday this week. This is being posted on Monday. Wednesday, we're going to have a video from GoldCon. Again, just kind of going a little bit more detail of some things.
Like a recap almost.
Yeah, having...
like what goes on.
We did go to Epcot with some of the agents and had fun. Taylor went to After Hours with some of the agents, had fun. So all of those things are going to be kind of wrapped up into a video. We're going to post that on Wednesday. And then Friday, we're going to be launching into the Northern European stuff, which I'm super excited about. And... if you guys have questions about things, about cruising, about going to Disney World, Universal, whatever, traveling in general, make sure to leave those in the comments below or send us an email, travelwithjoshandtaylor@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to, get back to you on those things. And I think that's it. So
I think that's it.
Yeah, my name's Josh.
And my name is Taylor.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.